Okay. Can you hear that? The music? So when I first moved into this apartment complex, believe it or not, even though this area, believe it or not, they had really good management. So security was they had the doors, the gates locked up. The property was immaculate. They cleaned it up every day. They were really on to people. They had curfews being outside. You couldn't be outside and, be in the breezeways and hallways. You had, that was not permitted in this apartment complex. Everything has changed. Now the litter, and in some areas they won't even pick it up. It's their days in this area, this particular area that I'm in. So the litter stays there, and sometimes they don't even pick it up. The staff, which it was immaculate before prior. Now I don't know if you hear that music. They would security would come. People were playing music, and with noise pollution, you couldn't do that. Now they just allow it. The gates are open, so I can get rushed by these vehicles. I just don't know what's going on. Why an apartment complex would change their policy. A multitude of locations like Walmart. The security, they have security. When I first moved in here, they didn't have security guarding the people in the office. Now, when I go there, but they did it at our calling, and I've noticed that security comes. They did it at Mcdonald's. So in the area that I would go to and frequent, even before COVID, they had their own security officer. But the security officers were bullies. Because police couldn't do it. They kept abusing me and mistreating me. So when they incriminated themselves, these locations had security. And I put some of these videos in the descriptions. So I would go, and now McDonald's has bully security that lies and slanders and schemes to deprive me of food purchase. So I would get terrorized. Now all of a sudden the church has security that put me out and told me not to come back for having a water bottle in a backpack. Are police so corrupt they're sending out security to terrorize me so they don't incriminate themselves? So why now when I go to the office, security is in there guarding staff? When I first started, communication with this complex, they didn't have security in there guarding them. Now security's sitting in the office with staff. Like security was at our calling, like security was at church. Now it was actually police at church. But the problem of it was they were my bullies. So when I went to church, I didn't want to see police there. But of the multitude of locations that I traveled to, police were there waiting on me, and they did terrorize and they did bully at church. So I know this is a lot of items, and a multitude of parties have said it's a lot. What's being done? What's being done? Because they're blacklisting me from housing. They blacklisted me from a job. They blacklisted me from all the help in domestic violence. I get terrorized and tortured, possible murders, hit and runs. These are extreme events that the child abuse, interference with child custody crimes. All of this has been ignored for years with a whole YouTube channel exposing it. So I don't know why I don't know what's going to go on with my future. I'm blacklisted from help, as you can see, even from church. They have said stolen cars from me, arresting me in schemes, impounding the cars, and then, I lost cars through these schemes. It's not a joke. So anyway, this is a video diary. I don't know why the apartment complex has changed its whole policy. They took a lot of pride in making sure that this community was, this environment was run properly. It was under new management, and they wanted to make sure that this apartment complex had ethics, and it was actually, they did. It was surprising. Now people are hanging in the breezeway, waiting to rush me, all in the aisles, all over, stalking. Just standing outside, just openly watching. That's how they can get these cars to do all this chaos, but they didn't permit that at first. So I'm not quite sure how security is going to do its job off in there with staff. when I go in. For whatever reason, they're guarding staff whenever I go in to do complaints or give follow-ups. Would it be more efficient if they were watching the property and looking over the property to make sure things like this didn't happen? But for some reason, they're sitting in the office whenever I go in. For whatever reason that is, that doesn't make sense. The security has started a brand new policy to where they guard staff instead of the property. This is a video diary.